Hey there, health junkies. Today, I'm interviewing Sara Banta. She's a health coach and a busy mother of three who are now 12, 15, and 16 years old. She has an undergraduate degree from Stanford University in economics and psychology, and she graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition and the Invincible Wellness System. She is the CEO and owner of Accelerated Health Products, and today she's going to talk about her personal journey to wellness in addition to her journey with her family and how important it is to be your own health advocate. You see, Sara is the owner of Accelerated Health Products, but not only that, she has created bundles of supplements that have worked for herself, her family, and many of her clients. And this is huge because a lot of folks out there are selling supplements, but they don't have the background behind why they're selling them. And in Sara's case, her reasoning is quite simple. It's restorative bundles. So she puts together supplements that she's found to help restore someone's health instead of putting Band-Aids over symptom after symptom after symptom, which I find is pretty cool. And what stands out with Sara is that her products are so unique compared to other things that are on the market. So take a listen and enjoy the podcast. Hello there, health junkies. Welcome to another episode of The Health Fix. You get to see me today. I'm Dr. Janine Krause, and on the line today with me, I have Sara Banta. She's going to give us a great story about how she has worked with her children, herself, her husband, to help take care of a lot of conditions that they've had in the home with natural products. And she has her own company, as I mentioned before in the intro, is Accelerated Health Products. And so, Sara, say hello.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on, Janine. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one because for me, and just like we were talking before we got online here and started recording, I really do this because I want people to advocate for themselves. We have to be our own doctors. Doctors don't have time, unfortunately, in terms of the current health model. We just need folks to get out there and get as much information as possible to help take care of themselves, because unfortunately the way the medical system is today, it's just not doing it. So right. I want to hear all about your health journey and how things started and where you went from to get to where you are today. So let's jump in.
All righty. Well, if you go back to, let's start with early childhood, just always didn't feel right. My stomach didn't handle all the sugar and junk food that my family ate. So I was the odd man out because for some reason my siblings and my parents were fine with it. And it just didn't feel right. So I always knew I was a little bit of a picky eater, but I was, like we all were told, low fat, high carbs, and you can eat as much sugar as you want, just as long as there's no fat in it. Well, you can get away with it when you're younger. I was an athlete and a good student going through college, just things just getting worse and worse, of course. Then into my 20s, got married, had a couple kids, and by my third pregnancy, really my health had failed. No digestion, no energy, acne, hair falling out. I had always had irregular periods. So and I always attributed that to being an athlete in high school and college. And so finally, I went to the doctor and they put tubes up me, down me, around me, and they came back with, "Oh, you've got IBS." And I thought, you know what? That's too general of a diagnosis. There's more to it. They didn't tell me what to do about it. Honestly, every time I went into the office, the doctor asked me what my name was, and I thought, it's not her fault. She's just doing her job, but she couldn't remember who I was. So I seeked out a natural practitioner, and he used a machine called the Skio machine. And this is something that scans your body for 10,000 items. Wow. Essentially, it tells you where your minerals are, your vitamins, how your liver's functioning, how your kidneys are functioning, where your hormones are, your blood sugar, and then even your emotions. It can tell you some really interesting things about your emotions. And we started peeling my health like an onion. as we were doing so, we just uncovered I was heavy, and I was loaded with heavy metals, lead, mercury, aluminum. I was on the verge of Crohn's disease. I had PCOS, which, typically that comes with obesity and some other symptoms that most doctors said, well, I don't understand why you have this, so we're not even going to pay attention to it. And now knowing that that was connected to insulin resistance, let's see, just a whole bunch of health issues. And he said, we're not even going to touch your mental issues, because everyone around me said, Sarah, you're depressed. And really, I was not depressed. I've never been a depressed person. So intuitively, I knew that was wrong. But he said, we're not even going to touch the mental part until we get you stable physically. And so we started with supplements and changing my diet, and things started getting better and better and better. And fast forward, as I'm working on my own health, my oldest son, who is now almost 17 years old, was 9 at the time, 3rd grade, and he just started not looking well. He was a good student and a typical athletic boy, didn't want to go to his swim lessons, didn't want to go to school, and there was just something wrong. So we hooked him up to the machine, and leukemia came up. And so we didn't just trust the machine. I then went and took him to a live blood cell test where you put the blood underneath a microscope. And not only were there cancer cells there, but the blood was really acidic and full of parasites and fungus and just a lot of nutritional deficiencies. He was anemic, low in his vitamins. And she said, if you don't do something about this now, we are going to have a serious issue on our hands in the next year. And so I thought at the time that I was feeding him well. I didn't know what more to do. And here my little boy is looking at me saying, Mom, I'm not worried, you're going to fix me. And it just put this amazing, at first it was a fear, but then I thought, no, God is doing this for a reason. I've got to be my child's advocate, and we're going to tackle this. So I put him on what's now my number one supplement that I sell, called Accelerated Silver. Mm-hmm. And we cleaned up his diet a little bit more, and he just started coming back to life. And I didn't trust it until we got him retested a year later. And the lady, who is very blunt, she doesn't sugarcoat anything. Mm-hmm. So to hear her say these words were magic. She said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. This blood is beautiful. She said, the cancer cells are gone. It's fully alkaline. There's no more anemia. The cells were nice and dark and plump and just alive with full of oxygen. And it just looked great. And I knew it. I was crying with tears of joy, and he looked at me and goes, Mom, what's wrong? I knew you were going to fix me. And it was just so innocent on his part, and going from the worst day of my life to the best day of my life. And since then, I just knew I had something that I had to share, because at the time, all of my friends were having kids, and they were going to the pediatrician on a monthly basis, doing antibiotics and even steroids for a cough. So, and I intuitively knew that that's wrong. But here I've got something that is not only cheaper than the prescription they have to pick up in the doctor visit, but something that has no known side effects, that tastes like water, that kids love to take, because you can give them their own little bottle and they can take ownership of their health, which is super cute. I always joke that I gave my kids the silver to take on their own in their own little dropper bottles. And the only downside for having them dosing themselves is if they take too much, they'll waste your money, but they're not going to hurt themselves. So it's a great start to give kids ownership of their own health. But then after my son's issues, my 2 daughters, no cancer, thank goodness. But my older daughter had asthma, allergies, and severe anemia. To the point where no energy. 4-year-old girl did not want to get on her bike to go around the block. And she just was it was hard to get her dressed. It was hard to get her out of bed. And it just was such a struggle. And I was anemic as well. So we started taking the accelerated silver on a daily basis and upped our dosage. We were already taking iron supplements and trying to combat it that way, and it wasn't working. But when we introduced the silver, it was helping the absorption of all the other nutrients, and within 2 months, both of us, our anemia went away. So that was just confirmation, even more for us. And so as I was on my health journey and my kids, I was introduced to some more natural supplements like a liquid BioCell collagen that's awesome, and still the best collagen supplement I have found. I know it's been really popular and on the market now from a whole bunch of different companies, and you have to really be careful with what you're taking because you don't know if it's junk. You don't know if your body's going to be able to absorb it. So that was my second tool in the tool shed, I should say. And then I realized that I really need to go back to school because I have a degree from Stanford in economics and psychology, but if I was going to speak about health, I was not going to go back to med school, but I needed to have some backing so people knew that I knew what I was talking about. So I went to the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, and then I also did another schooling that really taught you how to become your own doctor through Ayurvedic supplements and Chinese medicine. And what was great when I did those two things, I sat there going, I know 95% of what I'm being taught just because I learned it from my mentor and I learned it from self-taught. I mean, I was just so hungry for information because as we were talking about, you have to be your own advocate. And so as I was my son's advocate and my own through all of this, I just was hungry for information and really searched it all out. And it worked because I really knew everything that I was being taught through the schooling. And it got me to where I am now. And now I have expanded my business to have supplements that really focus on detoxification and resetting the body and then rebuilding the whole immune system. And my goal is to teach my clients how to get the foundation of their physical body strong first, and then approach the mind and the emotional state, because I think there's so much pressure on people to fix their anxiety and depression or whatever mental issues that they're having, their brain fog, and they think it's just them. And it's not their fault. There's so many factors that are going into breaking down their physical foundation, and that's causing all of these mental issues. And they think something's wrong with them, and it's not. It's just a breakdown of the body and the mind connection, and how you've talked about the brain and the gut. I mean, I'm all about the gut. You fix your gut, and you fix 90% of diseases.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about this restoration of the body concept first, because I think a lot of people are doing what we do. Well, it's almost like natural medicine converted to conventional medicine. A lot of us are taking supplements that are meant to cover up something. It's like a Band-Aid supplement.
Right.
And I like what you're doing because it is focused on the foundations of health, the basics of health. And so I know you have a lot of packages in terms of kits online. Tell us a little bit about how silver integrates in, how the collagen integrates in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I would first say that my number one bundle or package would be the keto detox bundle. And I know you've talked about the ketogenic diet a bit. It's a tool. Mm-hmm. So I think all of these things are tools, and whether you fully go into a ketogenic diet or you dabble in it, I use it as a tool. So my feeling is the gut, most issues are caused by leaky gut. If you've got leaky gut, you've got the barrier in your gut that is broken, and food particles or foreign proteins get through into the bloodstream and can cause inflammation. And your body says, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is. Let's have a huge autoimmune reaction and inflammatory response. And for me, it created gut issues, bloating, irregularity, acne. For someone else, it might cause just brain fog or arthritic pain or fibromyalgia. You know, a lot of people say, well, I'm fine. I don't have leaky gut. My stomach, I digest food great. But God, my arthritic pain is really bad, or my skin's breaking out, or what is this rash on my neck? And I sit there and go, well, the answer is pretty much the same for all of these issues. Whereas when you go to Western medicine, they give you one prescription or one medication to put on that rash or for your arthritic pain, but that's going to cause a cascade of other symptoms that you're going to need more medication for. So when you heal the leaky gut, then you're going to pretty much get rid of 90% of the issues out there. There's really one disease that you cannot cure, and that's Down syndrome. Everything else, in my opinion, you can heal, and your own immune system can heal. So my philosophy is, let's heal the gut, let's heal your immune system and strengthen your immune system so it can fight all of these things itself. So where the accelerated silver fits in, let's talk about that, is number one. That's the number one supplement in the bundle and in most of my bundles, because it's a no-brainer. Whether you want to listen to changing your diet or getting off the couch or doing anything different, the silver is, it's known, and silver's been around for thousands of years, to kill viruses and bacteria and fungus, parasites, and really boost the immune system. But the accelerated silver is a silver hydrosol, not a colloidal silver. And it also has applied vibrational frequency technology. And what does that mean? It essentially means that my silver has a proprietary electromagnetic process embedded in it that helps cancel out any imbalance in the body and promote the healthy frequencies. So if you think about it, every organism has a frequency, whether it's a virus, a bacteria. You have your own frequency, I have my own frequency. So the silver goes into the body and cancels out the negative frequencies while not touching any of the positive frequencies. And then this also has a proprietary formula that allows the silver to bypass the gut barrier that most dietary supplements can't do. So for instance, if you get bit by a spider in your arm, the doctor is going to actually give you an IV of antibiotics, right? They're not going to just give you an oral antibiotic, because you want to get it right to the source of where the bite is. And that's because a lot of antibiotics won't get there quickly, and then you lose your arm. So this, unlike most silvers, can get through that stomach acid and into the whole body and heal, go to the source of action where it needs to go. And I personally take it 4 to 7 times a day for not only boosting my immune system, but a boost in energy. And I feel a difference in anti-aging. And I'm not a doctor. I can't claim that it does all of these things, but I'm just telling you my personal experience and what I found with my own family. So that would be number one. So you're cleaning out and detoxing your system. The number two would be the keto supplement. So this actually puts your body into ketosis within 30 minutes. If someone switches from the typical diet to a ketogenic diet, it could take 2 to 4 weeks for them to really feel good again, because it's like switching from gas to electricity, like the gas guzzling Suburban to the Tesla, right? But you're going to have that period of where your body doesn't know where its energy is coming from, and it can't tap those fat stores on your body for energy. It's like having your pantry full of snack food and that freezer down in your basement full of the the pot roast and the steak, but there's a lock on that freezer, right? So when you come home and you're starving, you're going to go to the pantry because you want that quick energy, and your body doesn't even know how to get down to the basement to unlock that good stored fat as energy on your body. Well, when you take the keto supplement, you're feeding your body ketones, which then teaches your body how to be in ketosis and then how to unlock that freezer, defrost it, and have it ready and cooked. And so it's a seamless energy stream. So then you are craving the good, healthy fats and proteins, and the sugar cravings, the alcohol cravings go away. I was addicted to sugar. I mean, you are looking someone, I have a very addictive personality. I was starting to have a drink every day. I needed a dessert every night. Just that was my quote unquote treat, my reward. Now my reward is an extra couple bites of steak or whatever, and it's not even a reward because there's no limit. You don't binge on steak. You don't binge on wild salmon, so or vegetables. The sugar cravings are gone. I don't drink anymore, not because I judge people who drink or think it's a bad thing. I don't drink because there's no cravings. And I really feel so great. My energy's great and it's sustained. I used to need a nap at 3 p.m. every day. I don't need a nap, and my energy's great. My sleep's great. And the other benefit that I feel is the mental clarity. The brain fog is gone, because what happens is when most people in the United States are either diabetic or pre-diabetic and insulin resistant. And you can be thin and still be pre-diabetic. So it's not a weight issue. It's not, I laugh because my dad is very thin. He's never had a weight issue in his life. So he's going to eat as much sugar as he wants. He doesn't listen to me at all. But his brain's going, and I see it. And it's because when you're feeding your brain glucose and you become insulin resistant, your brain can't use that glucose anymore. So the cells start to degenerate and die. And it's screaming for energy. Those cells in your brain are screaming for energy. Well, when you then switch to a ketogenic diet and feed your body ketones, that goes into your brain as a new fuel. And the brain wakes up and says, oh, I've got this whole new source of fuel on my body. I can go forever. And not only does it stop the dying of the brain cells, but it actually can regenerate brain cells in Alzheimer's and dementia patients. It helps with autism, ADD. With my kids, it's helped amazingly with their schooling. We didn't even talk about my youngest child, who probably my healthiest kid, but she wasn't necessarily ADD. She had a really hard time with her reading. And in 2nd grade, her reading actually was going down. Her reading level was going down. And I believe it was because of anxiety as well as the comprehension issues. And I said, no sugar. We're cutting the sugar out. I put her on a ketogenic diet. I even gave her a little bit of the keto supplement. And through work on the anxiety piece and diet through the years, she has not only, gosh, I'm going to cry. She's going into 7th grade now. So this is 5 years later. She was below reading level in 2nd grade, and now she's at 11th grade reading level in 7th grade. So not only has she kept up and gotten to grade level, but she's surpassed it, and her anxiety's gone completely, and she's totally in control of the way she does in school, and she has learned obviously how to work hard, which is great. But to overcome that, and I truly believe it's through diet and then also the tools of some of the other supplements. I mean, everything we're talking about, my kids do. So all the supplements, they all do, and they go by a low carb diet and mostly ketogenic. Okay, so when you're on the keto supplement, that gives you that quick fix of getting into ketosis, and then your body says, okay, I've got thousands and thousands of calories right here, whether you're an Olympic athlete at 5% body fat or the typical person, you've got hundreds of thousands of calories to burn. Your body doesn't need to be refueled every 2 to 3 hours. So brain fog goes away, inflammation throughout the body goes away, pain goes away. But then what else it does is, as you are in ketosis, you don't need to eat all day long. And what that does is it means that you are not triggering an insulin response all day long. And when you trigger insulin is when you are eating carbs, sugar, and even a little protein. So when you eat fats or you're not eating, you're not triggering insulin. And why is that important? When you are not releasing insulin is when your body says, okay, we can focus on healing our body. We can go through a period of autophagy, which means it's going off and killing off the disease cells, the cancer cells, reducing inflammation. It's just doing a clean sweep of your body. And then what you do is you squeeze your eating into 2 or maybe 3 meals. Some people even are down to 1 meal. It's not a low-calorie diet. You're eating plenty of calories. So you can be eating as much as you normally eat, just in a shorter period of time. But what you do is you give your gut a big break. So it's healing not only throughout the whole body, the inflammation, but it's healing the leaky gut. So that's a couple tidbits about the keto. I could go on and on about the benefits, but what the other five supplements in the bundle do is accelerate the healing of the leaky gut and the inflammation and all the things that we're trying to do just by changing our diet. So you've got the silver cleaning out your blood. You've got the changing of the diet and getting rid of the carbs and the sugar, and not all carbs, but you eat the healthy carbs like all green vegetables. And I focus on avocados and wild fish and organic meats and nuts. And yes, nuts can be a trigger for some people, and so I like to portion them out. Because I could eat a whole bag if I wanted to, right?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah. So I tell people, if it's my 17-year-old son who needs the fuel, he can eat a whole bag of 2,000 calories of macadamia nuts, no problem, and that's fine. But I personally bag them up just so I know what I'm eating. And so then you've got the detox powder. So the detox powder, what it's going to do is it is cleaning out your intestines. It's soaking up all the toxins that you're releasing from the silver and through just helping heal that leaky gut. And it's with 6 organic ingredients that I've never found anywhere else. Micronized zeolite, which means that it's even smaller than most zeolites out there, where it's absorbing more toxins. Most poisons have, including heavy metals, have a positive charge. So the zeolite acts like a magnet to pull those toxins, bind them up, and safely remove them through your colon. So it bypasses your liver and your kidneys. Our bodies are not meant to detox from all of the toxins that we have in our environment. They were definitely working 100 years ago when we didn't have everything like the EMFs and the processed foods and all of the poisons that we have in our environment today. But now our systems do need a little extra help. So this helps soak those up. And then it's got human-grade diatomaceous earth, which detoxifies the body, kills parasites and fungus. And then there's organic psyllium, which expands like a sponge and cleans out the whole digestive tract and creates regularity. A lot of people really suffer from constipation as they get older. And that's totally normal. This can help with that. If you're not constipated and you have the other problem, this will actually soak things up and balance out your system that way. So whether you have diarrhea or constipation, this is going to help bring your digestive system back into balance. Then there's organic triphala, which is an Ayurvedic herb that helps the digestive system and regulate bowel movements. Slippery elm helps create mucilage and makes the stool softer, in addition to coating the ulcers and bring down inflammation for people with IBS or colitis. And of course, the activated charcoal, which just helps helps soak up the poisons even more, decrease the gas. It's great for preventing hangovers the next day if you do it, you have a drink or two the night before, reduces acne and helps with skin. So those are 3. And then as far as we're talking about gut health, the 4th would be the lateroflora. That goes through the gut and kills off the salmonella, E. coli, and candida in the gut. And as it's doing that, it's killing off the bad bugs that can be causing weight gain. It can be causing leaky gut and just causing inflammation. And then you've got a choice of either Restore or the probiotic. I recommend people start with Restore if they're choosing between one. Restore is known to heal leaky gut. So imagine this. You are doing Restore, which goes in and kills or heals that leaky gut, and you're giving yourself that time to heal. You're doing a little bit of intermittent fasting or less eating throughout the day so that your body is in that healing state, not the digestive state. And then you're cleaning it out with silver, and you're cleaning it out with the lateroflora. And then the last piece is the oxalate, which is a multivitamin electrolyte drink. It has amino acids and minerals as well. Tastes great. It's 0 sugar, and you can have that any time of the day. So those 6 supplements really enhance the healing process. And if people come to me and say, I've got this issue, and this issue, what should I take? I tell them mostly to take this bundle, and let's talk in a month and see how you're doing, and then we can address any other issues that are lingering. A lot of times they don't need anything else. Now, I do highly recommend the other bundle is my thyroid and radiation detox bundle, and this is a new bundle. Over the last year, I have really understood the importance of iodine in the diet. Most people, and I'm sure you find this, have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. 96% of the United States are low in iodine. Mm-hmm. Iodine is the number 1 predictor of depression, which also, just to backtrack, depression and anxiety, like I said, are all come from leaky gut too. So you've got these things that are going after depression and anxiety and any mood disorders from different angles. So here we are again, creating a strong foundation to then approach the mental and spiritual issues that someone might have later down the road. But if 96% of people are low in iodine, that probably means you're low in iodine unless you're supplementing. Iodine activates your mitochondria. So that is your energy. And if people talk about the iodine being important for your thyroid health, that is why, because if your thyroid is not getting the proper amount of iodine, you can't have the T4 and T3, which means or represents 4 molecules of iodine and 3 molecules of iodine, to then create the energy and the mitochondria and the ATP in the cells, which is your true energy. Iodine also is very important for brain function. If you think about your pineal gland, which most people don't even know what it is, but it's what people refer to as your third eye. Well, over our lifetime, that third eye or pineal gland becomes calcified with fluoride and other toxins if you don't have enough iodine in your system. Fluoride, bromide, and chloride all look like iodine. So if there's not enough iodine in your system, those toxins are going to the receptor sites and clogging them up. And then not only are you not getting the iodine in there, but you are also having that brain fog or feel like your head's in the clouds and you feel separate from your higher self or your spiritual self. So this is also going to attribute to depression and anxiety or just feeling not yourself and low energy. But it's not just important for your thyroid health and weight management and metabolism, but iodine's important for your heart health, for your ovaries, your breast tissue, your skin, your adrenal health. Most women, if they're low in iodine, they have a 3 times higher chance of breast cancer and fibrocystic breasts. So your breast tissue has 4 times more receptor sites for iodine than your thyroid. So everyone's focused on the thyroid, but you really need it for that breast health and even for prostates for men. Really important for prostate health. It's known to be anti-cancerous. It's known to help with your adrenals, like I said, and your adrenal burnout. And we are all stressed, right? We're burning the candle at both ends, and adrenal health is a big problem in the United States or around the world. And iodine is super important. So I'd been taking iodine for years and years and years, really didn't feel a lot different from the iodine I was taking until I found the acceleridine, which I now carry. Okay. This is so potent and strong, and the difference is number one, it's monoatomic. And what that means, it's just one single atom of iodine, where a lot of iodines are diatomic molecules that require the body to use more energy to break it down, which is especially hard if you already have a weak immune system. And so it's 100% bioavailable for the body. Number two, it's charged with true scalar energy. And this means it's treated with the most balanced and highest frequencies that heal at the deepest level. This also helps fight radiation exposure, which we are getting everywhere with the EMFs, the smartphones, the 5G coming, X-rays and commercial flights. All of those things are just scrambling our DNA. So iodine actually kicks out the toxins from the bromide, the fluoride, and the chloride, but it also kicks out radioactive iodine out of our body as well. And if you think you're getting your iodine from iodized salt, most salts, actually there was a study done of even the highest level of quality salts, 36 out of 39 salts had microplastics in them. So here you are taking salt in, thinking you're doing the right thing and getting your iodine, but you're taking in plastic. So that's really important to be taking the right iodine and making sure that it's being absorbed by your body. This also creates what's called apoptosis. Apoptosis is the dying of diseased and cancer cells. So remember we had talked about autophagy and with the ketogenic diet and all of the other supplements cleaning out your body and reducing inflammation and getting rid of the deceased cells. You now have the iodine going after parasites and cancer and all the disease cells as well in a different way. So you are building a rock solid immune system through these supplements. And so with the thyroid and radiation detox bundle, I have the silver in it, the acceleridine iodine, and then what's called the Nuke No More. And this is a phenomenal supplement. You really only need to take it once, which is phenomenal. Essentially, this is going to detox you from all of the nuclear fallout from smog and hundreds of radioactive isotopes and general radiation from commercial flying, nuclear power, smart meters, your cell phone, all the electric pollution. And you take this once, one bottle worth, and you are zeroed out from radiation, not just from the past stuff that you've been exposed to, but you're zeroed out for at least 2 years following, especially if you're taking the acceleridine to follow it up, because the acceleridine is supplementing you with that iodine, so there's no more room for the toxins to fill those receptor sites in your body. The iodine actually kicks it out and keeps you free of radiation. So, and this is something that is becoming really important. As we were talking about fluoride, bromide, and chloride, bromine is considered one of the top 12 deadliest chemicals on Earth. It's not legal in Europe anymore. I don't know why it's still legal in the U.S., but it's found in bread, and Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Fresca, pesticides, and all the non-organic vegetables, fire retardants, everything. It's everywhere. And then we've got the chemtrails above us that are dropping all these toxins on us. And all of these things are scrambling our DNA. They're dumbing us down. And this is also why we're feeling like we're in a fog, like we're just, zombies going through our day and trying to get from one day to the next. This is part of the problem. So as we are detoxing from the supplements in the keto detox bundle and the thyroid detox bundle, you're not only healing your body, getting rid of inflammation, making your body use your own fat stores for energy, but you're really detoxing your brain and giving your brain the proper energy it wants from your fat stores and getting rid of those toxins out of your brain and lifting that fog. What I noticed was my mental clarity, and I've had 3 kids, so you go through that pregnancy brain thing. And I was also in a car accident that caused a lot of anxiety, depression, memory loss. So I had to bring my brain back, and that was 3 years ago. So looking back on it today at the age of 43, my brain is functioning at a much higher level than it was in college. And if only I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have studied as hard, and I could have done a lot more things with what I was given. But it's just really amazing that age is a number. I feel younger now than ever. And when you talk about, like just the diet, and it's not, I don't call it a diet. I call it a lifestyle. And do I eat cake? Yes, it was my daughter's birthday last night. Had some ice cream cake and tasted great. But on a basic level, I've changed the way I've eaten and changed with the supplements. It just makes it so easy to then the next day, like today, get back on track. I mean, I wake up and I have my keto supplement. I take the other things, and I feel great again. If I had what I had last night 10 years ago, I would be moving very slow today. I would be a little bit of a fog. I probably wouldn't be able to do this interview. You know what I mean? And it's just really nice to have these tools in your tool shed. And unfortunately, our food supply is so depleted. The minerals and vitamins we need, and you just really do need supplementation to be your optimal self. And then you address the anxiety and the depression and any other issues that someone might be having mentally. And a lot of times people will say, Sara, I need coaching. I need you to walk me through this. And I have all of these triggers. How do I get around it? I need to meet with you once a week. And I will tell them, that's fine. That's great. But they don't need me after 2 weeks. One client of mine, just a couple of weeks ago, she was determined she was going to need me every week. I've had 2 meetings with her. And she texts me just how amazing she feels. She goes, this is really weird. It's 2:00. I haven't eaten yet. My energy's great. I've lost 10 pounds. What is going on? I don't understand this. And it's a little bit of, it's not all smooth and uphill, especially for women. We've got hormones that are complicated, if I have a man starting this program or anything, any of the supplements, super easy. They just disappear because men are simple and their systems are a lot more simple and not complicated. Us women have a lot of hormones that that are entangled, I should say. So when you're insulin resistant and you're trying to get your hormones back intact, there can be some waves of ups and downs and getting your estrogen and your testosterone and your progesterone back intact, and your thyroid hormones, and then your adrenal health. We have so much on our plates that adrenals are a big issue. So that plays a big part in it. But overall, it's people just start feeling better and they feel like, okay, I can do this now. And it's just a very freeing feeling when you feel in control. So those would be the two most popular bundles. I've got more on there, and I don't know if I'm sure you have a lot of questions with what I've gone through so far.
Well, what I'm thinking in terms of things is, for a lot of people, I think it's the basics. I think not getting too complicated would be ideal. And I think what you went through be, the two main things, really, the get the gut right, work on the thyroid, let the body sort the hormones out a little bit. And I think insulin has probably the most to do with even why so many females can't lose weight, why we have so many issues in general, just with not feeling good. And so I think, you know what, we get people started with this, and then they can explore your website, acceleratedhealth.com, a little bit further. Of course, at the outro, folks, I will be talking about a discount that Sara has granted us for 15% off on her website, so stay tuned for that. But no, I think this is the basics. I think a lot of us skip over the basics. Even I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'm wanting to get someone help so fast that I will jump to, Band-Aids. And unfortunately, the Band-Aids always, I shouldn't say always, but sometimes backfire on me. My question for you is, how often would one do the silver? Is this something every day, all day for the rest of your life? Or is this, in terms of the basic, bundle there that you have with those 6 items, is this something that someone would do quarterly? Is this something, how does it work?
So personally, I take it 4 to 6 times a day, every day, and I haven't stopped. There's never a buildup of residue in your body.
Okay.
People start feeling great on it, so they don't stop, and there's no side effects, and it's cumulative. So as I've been taking it longer and longer, do I need it as much? Probably not. I do take it every single day. With the amount of viruses and bacteria and toxins we're bombarded with, it's a great way to just keep your immune system boosted. And my kids take it every single day. They probably take it 3 times a day. Kids' systems are a little cleaner, so they don't need to take it quite as much. And then during the cold season, you dose up. If you've been exposed to somebody, you dose it up. I have people that take it 2 times a day just to keep themselves from getting sick. And then I've got people like me that are taking it 4 to 7 times a day for the anti-aging effects and the other effects. I wanted to mention I'm not allowed to speak of how to use the silver other than oral supplementation. However, I highly recommend you Google the uses of silver and see how others are using silver in other ways, topically and for sinus infections, eye infections, ear infections, and that sort of thing. And there's hundreds of websites out there that will tell you how to do that. But no, it's like any vitamin, quote unquote, where if you stop taking your vitamin E, then you're going to slowly get depleted of it unless you're getting it somewhere else. So, and there's accelerated gold, which I didn't mention, which is known to help with anxiety, depression, sleep, and calming the nerves. So that's something that I recommend people look into. It's not a part of a bundle other than the silver and gold bundle that I have. But and same thing with that one. That one I use a little less than I do the silver. The silver's everywhere and access to me. It's in my purse. It's in my bathroom. It's in my kitchen. So anytime I think about it, I reach for it. It never expires. And so if you find if you forget about it for a year and you find your bottle in the pantry, you can take it, and I think we've tested it 10 years out, and it's still just as potent. So.
Wow. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I mean, there's still that stigma with turning blue and silver, and I hear it still from patients, and,
You could drink gallons of this and you will never, and then get tested for silver in your blood and you'll never find it. And the difference is because there's so little actual silver in my silver. Most people are making silver at home with crude silver or colloidal silver, and that's where you can get the buildup in your body and turn blue, quote unquote. You are drinking essentially distilled water that has a very little amount of silver in it, but the particle size is so small, and the way it's processed and getting into the system, you don't need a lot to have such an amazing effect on above what other silvers are doing. It really scares me when I look at Amazon and see how many silver bottles are being sold and where it's coming from. I mean, people can be making it out of their garage and selling it, and you just don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I think that's a very important comment to make, because I have a lot of people, when I've talked about peptides or different things, they're looking for getting stuff from China, and I get worried about that as well. Where is your manufacturing?
In Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
all in the U.S.
In the U.S., everybody.
Yeah. Sunny California.
Perfect. So yeah, I think that's important for folks to know too, in terms of where things produced. Now, I'm thinking in terms of the thyroid and getting folks in a protocol. Would you be recommending someone that has the thyroid issues to go with your thyroid bundle because you have the accelerated silver in there already, or would you want them to go towards the basic? I'm calling it the basic.
The keto detox bundle. Good question. So the keto detox bundle is going to improve your thyroid. Mm-hmm. I would recommend getting the keto detox bundle and then the acceleradine added on. Okay. And then maybe down the road doing the thyroid detox bundle where you're adding the Nuke No More. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to be detoxing with the keto detox bundle. Mm-hmm. So, and it will help with some of the heavy metals and that sort of thing. And detoxing can cause some reaction, so you don't want to detox too fast. But the acceleradine is super important, and especially on your first order, you're going to get the discount on that on its own. Would I recommend both bundles? Yes. At one time, yes. If your budget allows, and you're going to go through your 2 bottles of silver that you get. But if I had to choose one, I would say the keto detox bundle and add in the acceleradine, because that's going to help feed the thyroid, the iodine, while detoxing from everything else. And like I said, the keto detox bundle is going to help with your thyroid health. One small misnomer is that people have been taught eating throughout the day is going to boost your metabolism. It's actually the opposite. When you eat all throughout the day, it's like going to the bank 6 times a day and only having $20 in there. And your body learns that I'm only going to get a 100-calorie snack here. I better save those calories as fat and store them in my body, because you're releasing insulin throughout the day, 6 times a day. Whereas if you squeeze your meals into a shorter period or less meals throughout the day, your body has all of these fat stores that it can access on your body. So it's not hungry. Why would it think that it needs to save and slow down its metabolism? It's actually going to speed up its metabolism just because it knows it's got this huge source of energy from your own fat stores. So you're going to get it from the acceleradine, iodine, boosting that thyroid health, and then through the detox bundle.
Wow. I have to say, this is interesting in terms of the bundles. And when I was going through them looking before we chatted, I was like, wow, this is impressive, because your protocol is so unique compared to all of the other items out there online. And I'll be honest, as a doc, I try a lot of different things for patients, and your protocols are unique enough now that I'm like, okay, I think we're going to start experimenting. I always experiment with myself first and then move on to other folks. I would love to experiment with your products on myself and then do a recap on it.
Oh, I'd love it.
Up for doing an interview again to talk about a recap in terms of how things went, what happened, and kind of go through troubleshooting?
Yeah, I would love that. Absolutely.
Okay, let's do that, because Sarah, you're such a wealth of information. I really appreciate you coming on and chatting all about your products and helping us understand insulin resistance a little bit, and frequency of eating and how things affect our bodies. I really appreciate that. So at that, we're going to call it for the day, but I definitely want to try both bundles because I have thyroid stuff. I definitely can always use something new to try out, because I think that we're not one size fits all bodies, and I think your products are unique enough that it's not something that traditional naturopaths are using. It really isn't. We've been going down the lines of L-glutamine and collagen and things of that nature. And for a lot of people, I'm getting frustrated because some of the stuff doesn't work. So I think you've got a magical lineup there. So I'm excited to try it out and can't wait to have you back on to see how things go for me.
Awesome. I'd love that. That's exciting.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much. And if anyone has any questions for me, feel free to email me at sarah@acceleratedhealthproducts.com. A lot of people will have, other questions or particular to their situation. I'm happy to direct them in a way if there's something we didn't talk about today.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Hey, Health Junkies, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I am going to try Sarah's Gentle Detox out myself and report back as to my results, so stay tuned. Until then, check out Sarah's products on acceleratedhealthproducts.com. And just for the Health Fix listeners, she's given us a coupon code, Dr. Janine Krause 15 for 15% off. So that is DRJANNINEKRAUSE 15, so 15 for 15% off, all smashed together. You can enter that into her coupon code on her website at acceleratedhealthproducts.com. Now, of course, as always, I will have that link in my podcast notes at drjkrausend.com as well. So if you like this podcast and you want to hear more, make sure to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or tell your friends about us. Please, we'd love to share information. I personally love to answer questions and get out as much health information as possible, because this podcast, just like many of my other ones, highlights how important it is to be your own health advocate. And if you find that something's wrong with you and you're not getting answers, yes, you probably do have to go on the internet a little bit. But I'm here to help you to weed through what's BS and what's legit out there. So, hope you enjoyed this podcast. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. Hey everybody, Dr. Janine Krause here. If you liked what you heard today, then head over to drjkrausend.com to find my free resources and information to know when I post something new that's juicy that you might want to check out. Plus, head over to where you get your podcasts and subscribe, and write a review to help get the word out about me and help others at the same time to find me. It really does help, and I really appreciate all of your reviews.